Good day everyone. Today, we are going to discuss Article 2 of the Code of Ethics for Professional Teachers entitled The Teacher and the State. So this article explains the responsibilities of teachers not only as educators but also as role models, public servants, and nation builders. So without further ado, I will now give the floor to Miss Abria.
Good day everyone. I will now discuss section 1, which is about cultural heritage and state alliances. This section explains the school are the nurseries of the future citizens of the state. This means that schools help prepare and shape students to become responsible, knowledgeable, and good citizens in the future. Teachers are also considered trustee of the cultural and educational heritage of our nation. In simple words, teachers have the responsibility to preserve, respect, and pass on our culture, traditions, values, and knowledge to their learners. Teachers should also develop students' love for their country or nationalism. They should teach students to respect the Constitution, follow the laws, respect government authorities, and understand the importance of being responsible citizens. For example, a teacher may include local history, Filipino traditions, and indigenous arts in the lesson. The teacher may also guide students in participating respectfully during flag ceremony and following the school and community rules. Therefore, this section reminds teachers that their role is not only to teach academic subject but also help students become responsible citizens who respect their culture, country, and laws. Thank you.
In Section 2, every teacher or school official shall actively help carry out the declared policies of the state and shall take an oath to this effect. Kini nga section nagpasabot nga that every teacher and school official must follow and support the law, rules, and educational policies of the government. They should do their duties honestly and responsibly because they have taken an oath. Oath is a panunumpa, a formal promise to serve the public and uphold these policies. And real-life examples, first is ang usa ka matutudlo mosunod sa curriculum nga gipatuman sa Department of Education or DepEd to teach students according to the official learning standards. Second is if there is an earthquake drill, a clean-up drive, or an anti-bullying campaign required by the government, the teacher actively participate and encourages students to follow and join. So this is one way a teacher helps implement the policies of the state. So, Section 2 is a teacher should obey government rules and work to provide quality education while being a good example to students and the community.
Section 3. In the interest of the state and of the Filipino people as much as of his own, every teacher shall be physically, mentally, and morally fit. This section means that a teacher should always be healthy in body, mind, and character. Being physically fit helps teachers perform their daily responsibilities with energy. Kay kung kapoy pirme ang teacher o dali masuko tungod sa stress, pwede umahimong maapektuhan ang pagkat-on sa mga students. Then, being mentally fit allows them to stay calm, make wise decisions, and handle classroom challenges. Being morally fit means showing honesty, respect, fairness, and professionalism because students look up to their teachers as role models. A teacher's personal behavior can influence students both inside and outside the classroom. So, real life example, A teacher receives an angry message from a parent about a student's grade. Instead of replying rudely or getting angry, the teacher calmly explains the grading system and invites the parent to discuss the concern respectfully. So, this example shows that the teacher is mentally and morally fit because they remain calm, professional, and respectful even in a difficult situation. So, bisan nasuko ang ginikanan o medyo init ang sitwasyon, wala siya nagpadala sa iyang emosyon. Wala siya mutubag og kasuko o mga bastos nga mensahe. So, instead, kalmado niyang gipasabot kung giunsa pagkuha ang grado sa iyang estudyante o iyang gi-invite ang ginikanan nga mag-istorya sila sa husto o respetadong paagi aron masulbad ang problema. So, it shows that a teacher should always solve conflicts peacefully because students, parents, and the community expect teachers to be role models not only in the classroom but also in the way they deal with people. So let's move on to section 4. So every teacher shall possess and actualize a full commitment and devotion to duty. So section 4 emphasizes that being a teacher is more than just having a job. It is a profession that requires commitment, dedication, and genuine passion for helping students learn. A teacher should not only teach because it is their duty or because they are paid to do so. Instead, they should always strive to give their best in every lesson, prepare effective learning materials, arrive in class on time, assess students fairly, and continuously improve their teaching methods. So, usahay or kanunay, lisod ang trabaho sa mga usa ka teacher tungod sa daghang mga papeles, lesson plans, ug ubang responsibilidad. Apan, bisan pa man ana, ang usa ka maayong teacher mopadayon nga mutuman sa iyang obligasyon ug dili pasagdan ang kalidad sa iyang pagtudlo. Real life example, a teacher notices that several students are having difficulty understanding the lesson. Instead of moving on immediately, the teacher gives additional examples, reviews the topic again, and patiently answers students' question until they understand. So, these examples reflects commitment and devotion to duty because the teacher is willing to adjust the lesson based on the student's needs rather than teaching only to complete the daily lesson plan. So, the teacher takes responsibility for making sure that every student has the opportunity to learn. The teacher understands that students have different learning abilities, so they explain the topic in a simpler way and encourage students to participate without fear of making mistakes.
In section 5, it is all about a teacher shall not engage in the promotion of any political, religious, or other partisan interest and shall not directly or indirectly solicit, require, collect, or receive any money or service or other valuable material from any person or entity for such purposes. So, in this section, teachers should remain fair and impartial while performing their duties. When we say fair and impartial, that shows fairness where no favoritism and discrimination involved, right? They should never use their authority to persuade, pressure, or influence students to support a particular political candidate, political party, or religion. Since students come from different religious backgrounds and political beliefs, teachers should respect those differences and encourage critical thinking instead of imposing personal opinions. Teachers may discuss politics or religion for educational purposes, provided the discussion is objective. So, when we say objective, that is to present facts not based on opinions and should be balanced, respectful, and appropriate to the lesson. They must not ask for or accept money also, gifts, or support for such personal causes, as they have the goal to educate students objectively and create a learning environment where everyone is respected, regardless of their beliefs and opinions. This provision ensures that teachers remain impartial, avoid conflicts of interest, and maintain the trust and respect of students, parents, and the people within the community. It also protects students from being influenced or pressured into supporting causes that are unrelated to their education. We have provided the real example of this section, which is refraining from endorsing candidates or religious sectors during school events and refusing any partisan campaign collections on campus. From the given example, the teacher demonstrates professionalism and impartiality by avoiding political or religious favoritism and refusing partisan campaign collections. This helps maintain a fair, respectful, and focused learning environment for all students.
Section 6. Constitutional Rights and Responsibility. It says that every teacher shall vote and shall exercise all other constitutional rights and responsibility. This means that teachers have the same rights and responsibilities as every Filipino citizen under the Constitution. One of their important rights and duties is to vote during elections. Voting allows teachers to help choose good leaders who will serve the country. Teachers should follow the law, respect the rights of other people, and become a good example for their students. By doing these responsibilities, they can help build a peaceful, fair, and better society. So for example, during an election, a teacher registers as voter and studies the candidates carefully and votes honestly. Another example is a teacher volunteers as an election board member and performs the job fairly without favoring any candidate. Teacher also obeys the law, respect the rights of others, and encourage the students to become responsible citizens. This action shows that teachers are using their constitutional rights and fulfilling their responsibilities. This reminds us that teachers are not only educators, but also a responsible citizens. They should use their rights wisely and fulfill their duties to help make a better country.
I'll be explaining Section 7. Section 7 states, a teacher shall not use his position or official authority or influence to coerce any other person to follow any political course of action. This section means that teacher must never use their authority or influence to force or pressure students, parents, fellow teachers, or anyone else to support a particular political candidate or political party. So teachers have the same constitutional right to vote and express their opinions, but they should keep their personal political views separate from their professional responsibilities. Bilang mga guro, inasahan tayong maging fair, neutral, at respectful sa iba't ibang paniniwala ng ibang tao. We have here the real-life example. Real-life example, ensuring students or colleagues are never penalized or pressured academically or professionally based on personal political choices. So, during a election season, a teacher may personally support to a certain candidate. However, hindi niya dapat ibaba ang grades ng mga estudyanteng may ibang political belief. The same rule also applies to fellow teachers. Hindi rin dapat pilitin ang mga kapwa-guro na sumama sa political rallies, mga panya o suportahan ang isang kandidato kapalit ng promotion, magandang evaluation o anumang pabor. By doing this, teachers respect everyone's freedom of choice and uphold professionalism. Ipinapakita nito na ang pagiging guro ay nangangahulugang pagiging patas at paggalang sa karapatan ng bawat isa na pumili ng sarili nilang paniniwala sa politika.
Section 8. Academic Freedom and Research. Every teacher shall enjoy academic freedom and shall have privilege of expounding the product of his researches and investigations, provided that, if the results are inimical to the declared policies of the state, they shall be brought to the proper authorities for appropriate remedial action. Teachers have academic freedom. This means they have the right to study topics, run projects, and find new facts. When they discover something new, they have the right to speak about it, write articles, and teach it. If a teacher finds information that harms public safety, causes chaos, or breaks critical laws, they cannot just share it with the public. Instead, they must report it to their bosses or government offices first so the problem can be fixed safely. Real-life example. Conducting empirical educational research and publishing findings while respecting institutional policies and state welfare standards. For example, an IT teacher studies the school grading system and finds a flaw that lets anyone change grades easily. The wrong move is posting the flaw online, which lets students cheat or destroy records. The right move is reporting it directly to the government's technology division so they can patch the flaw first.
In summary, Article 2 highlights that teachers are nation builders who have the responsibility to educate learners with integrity, patriotism, and professionalism. They must be committed to their duties, uphold the law, remain politically neutral, exercise their rights responsibly, and use academic freedom for the benefit of learners, society, and the nation. That ends our presentation on Article 2, the teacher and the state. We hope that our discussion helped you understand the important rules and responsibilities of teachers according to the Code of Ethics for Professional Teachers. Thank you everyone for listening. Have a great day and God bless us all.